there. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Hi. So today I can go for about like 2.5 hours, maybe 2:45 at the most. Like, why is there a time limit tonight? Well, that is because I want to watch the Trolls movie before it leaves. And why didn't you watch it earlier today, Misaki? Because I did not want to sit in the front row. The good seats were taken, and I could have sat in the very front row, but no. That is pain and suffering. And I'm not about that life right now. So instead I'll watch it very late at night. And that way there's no one there. Hi. But yes, yesterday we went to the wonderful ball. And then we saw how beautiful Lancelot and Barghest are. And she even invited me, so I'm gonna go visit her, I think. Let's see how it be in Manchester. Boop. Wee. Manchester. Looks like we're leaving now. Okay, yep, we're outside. Percival, we're back! Hello, everyone. I'm glad to see you're all safe and sound. Congratulations on another job well done, Artoria Misaki. I think everyone in Britain must have heard the bell of pilgrimage ring. Ooh, hi. Konnichiwa. It's not super duper strict. I just gotta be careful. It just depends on if I want snacks or not, which I kinda do, but I could live without. And ooh, congratulations on +3 commas, nice.
As your exclusive Knight Rider, I too couldn't be happier about this latest success. On a different subject, did you happen to pick me up a souvenir? I don't know if you remember this, but it was no easy feat for us fairy horses to transport you all from Londinium to Gloucester in only half a day. Of course I remember. Here you go. 2-in-1 hair restorer and suntan oil. I found it at a shady-looking hole in the wall.
Ah, what a great souvenir from a shady-looking hole in the wall, my favorite.
It's just one of many different magecraft trinkets being sold there now, thanks to Artoria's previous escapade. Hair restore? For a horse? There's no need to hide it. I already know you're a fashionable fairy who cares a great deal about his appearance. Be honest, aren't you itching to change your look now that Artoria's done the same? You're a great fairy, Oberon. A shady-looking hole in the wall, you say? Sounds like the perfect place to me.
Yes, indeed, perfect.
Alright, now that Redra's spirits have been lifted, what say we head back to Londinium? Next on our list is Oxford's bell. Once you ring that bell, this war will really kick into high gear.
Actually, there's something else we should take care of first. Would you mind if we change venues so we could discuss our future plans a little more privately?
Oh, that huh? Okay then. Why don't we try going to the woods over there, away from the highway?
Ah, yes. Totally not shady going into the woods. Yep.
Damn, sorry about that. I had no idea this forest was actually a Moor's nest. Please stand back, fairies. The Round Table Army will handle this.
Oh! Dang! That is some fast-acting lotion for, like, appearance changes. I love it.
No need to worry about us. Those Moors won't be able to so much as touch me. I am Redrabit, the fairy seed of flame. See for yourselves how my body burns. Come, Sir Percival. Come, Lady Gareth. Let us demonstrate what the Knights of the Round Table truly aspire to.
I love it. That is great. 10 out of 10. Okay, I see how it is. Well, I can probably do the thing with just them. But just in case, let me put her here. Yeah, this is fine. And now it's about bonding. And just for funsies, I'll put him here. Yay for buns. Okay, let's see. Stare. Getting more Kama is tempting for me too. But no, I'm not gonna even resist. I'm gonna throw my one Saint Quartz later. Just the one. Yeah, just that one. And again, even more staring because I'm clearly blind right now. Okay, this is good. Boop. And now we fight the Moors. Like, how bad can they be? I fought them plenty of times. Okay, let's see. Increased damage dealt against Faye, that's fine. And curses, whatever, no fear. Okay, let me just... might as well. Whee! Just because she's so powerful now. And wait a second. Okay, Redra and Percival cannot use their noble phantasms. Sadness.
But it'd be fine. I still believe in them.
Aw, if only. Yeah, sad since he's not red hair, no noble phantasm. But hey, look at him being level 90. And hello, hello. Like, he's doing great. Though they're smart. Well, actually, no, I almost forgot I put that lock on top of Gareth.
Yeah, they're still going after her.
The fridge is making weird noises. At least I think that's the fridge. Me. I'll ignore it. And might as well just use all of her. Okay, yeah, that was probably the fridge. I decided to stay silent just to see, like, why is the house making noises? Like, house, are you gonna talk some more? But no. Nothing else. So that means it's fine. I can just ignore that one sound. It was probably the fridge creaking. Or not? Maybe you should check, because I think I'm the only one home. And when you're the only one home and the house makes noises, it's kind of like, just the slightest bit sus. I'll check it after I do this. Boop. I'm sorry, Gareth, you're suffering, but I'll just do this for now. And now let me just walk around real quick. Never mind, I'm not home alone. Not home alone anymore. And oh, that night call Night Rider's pretty tough. Let me just do this. Boop. Yeah, just so Gareth can live. Please live, Gareth. I believe in you. Wee. Oh, that's pretty cute. Nightfalls, bringing great success to the party and increasing the will to fight by escaping reality. I love it. That makes total sense. That is the greatest. And morning breaks, greatly uplifting the party's mental state and increasing self-esteem. I need that. That actually sounds wonderful. Overrod. Gimme them buffs. Except for the third one, maybe. A dream of the end times, but the end of the turn and... But at the end of the turn, they will lose all of its effects and sleep for eternity. Yeah, no. Maybe not that part. I need sleep, but I don't think I need that much sleep. Only a little bit of sleep. And here you go, Gareth. Take this. You shall live. Yeah, you will live. Wee. What quest is this? I am heading to Manchester. It's the first one for Manchester. I'm not sure what kind of dream I want Oberon to give me. Like, nothing too amazing, just because I'm gonna feel sad when I wake up. Like, if I were to wake up. Because super fun dreams are great, but then when I wake up, I feel sadness, because I'm like, it was just a dream. Prize. Like, I swear I did super good for this one thing. I got all the gotcha banner people that I wanted, then I checked my game, and then I'm like, oh, that was just a dream. I hate you, dream. Why must you give me false hope? Hello? I know how they're actually doing surprisingly well. Go get him. So someone's about to go poof during the next turn because of the charge thing. But it's okay, I believe in them. Well, no. Actually, yeah. Sorry, Gareth. I don't know if Nightcall, Night Ride is gonna attack multiple people, but you are gonna go out like a champion. Thank you, Gareth. And then Arjuna will come out and do the thing. Great job. Over halfway down, that's good. Oh, thank you for being single target. I am grateful for that. This is like, I think no, actually there's more than... Nightcall's one of the few Avengers I don't have. I don't have Nightcall or... Gorgon? I think? Breen, not entirely sure. I think I got most of them. And just in case Arjuna needs to live, he needs guts right now. And Redra's just taking this like a champ. Yeah, look at Redra just standing there menacingly. We believe in you, Redra. Here you go, Arjuna. Just hit extra hard now. Good job, my boy. Well, Redra did turn into a flame horse thanks to that mysterious lotion from the shady store. Nice. So as I was saying, I was actually thinking of ringing a different bell pilgrimage next. We know exactly where Oxford's bell is, and now that Woodrose is gone, we can ring it anytime. So I propose that we head to Orkney next. Morgan is found to be watching Oxford right now, which would mean that Orkney is right for the picking.
I see. That's a good point. We'll have to make our way to Orkney eventually, after all.
Ooh, nice. The affected servant will gain an unparalleled rise in strength after they sleep. Yeah, that's worth it. As long as the person sleeping has guts, or at least something like invincible, then that's fine.
And since none of the Queen's troops have been deployed there, now would seem to be our best chance.
Oh, I forgot about Dante's too.
Oops. Unfortunately, it's not quite that simple. The Queen will send her army after us the moment we head to Orkney, to say nothing of Nocnarea's army in the north. So I think it would be safer to advance the Round Table army near Camelot, than have some troops protect us on the way to Orkney.
No, if we go there's an army, Nocnarea will mobilize her army in response. She's already gone on the record saying that she sees a child of prophecy as an obstacle, and Artoria as a rival. So if Artoria makes any overt moves, she'll have no choice but to get in our way by virtue of her position as queen. But we really don't want to fight the Northern Fairies unless we absolutely have to. We need them on our side fighting Morgan instead. Right, Percival? Artoria?
Right. We would like nothing more than to form an alliance with the Northern Fairies. Not as allies in the fight against the Queen, but as fellow citizens of Britain. We've tried sending messages to Nocnarea several times, but unfortunately, she won't even give us a time of day.
I mean, Nocnarea does hate humans, actually. I don't know if I'd say hate so much as... Well, never mind. That doesn't matter now. Anyway, I agree with Da Vinci. I think the fourth bell I ring should be Orkney's. Once I do that, we can stop by Nocnarea's camp on the way home. She should be willing to negotiate with us now. Yeah, you're the child of prophecy in both name and deed now. The Chocolate Queen can't afford to ignore you anymore. I love that, the Chocolate Queen. That chocolate is delicious. Okay, then the question is, how do we get to Orkney without anyone finding out? Okay, Nocnarea, not... Nocnarea.
What if we went through the Lake District? It's a marshland in northwestern Britain, and constantly mired by fog. The terrain is much too treacherous for our army to cross, and it's full of moors too. Both Nocnarea's army and the royal army always keep their distance. It would be a much more dangerous route than taking the highway, but... Sounds like a good idea to me. Let's do it. We only got but so many people with us. We'd be better off dodging moors than an army. I guess that's true. What do you think, Misaki?
If it gets us there undetected, I'm all for it. I trust Da Vinci-chan. Da Vinci-chan would never lead me to danger. Or would she?
I see. Then I guess that's that. Personally, I don't think splitting off from our army is a good idea, but I guess you guys are used to moving about as a small elite unit. For a team with your skills, the Lake District shouldn't be much of a problem. Good luck. I'll be rooting for you.
Huh? You're not coming with us, Oberon?
Of course not. The Round Table army is in the middle of a rapid growth period. Someone has to stay and keep an eye on them. Powering up the Child of Prophecy with the Bells of Pilgrimage is important, of course, but so is improving our army. Percival, I'd like you to come along and command the Round Table army too, so we can secure Oxford's bell. It'll leave Londinium a little thinly guarded, but if we can occupy Oxford, we arguably won't need it anymore. And once it happens, the Queen's army won't have any more reason to attack there. Then it's settled. Artoria, Misaki, Muramasa, Da Vinci, Gareth, and Habitrot will set out for Orkney's Bell by way of the Lake District. Richard, would you be willing to help them? I can certainly take them as far as the edge of Lake District, but I won't be able to bring the wagon in there. So once I've seen all of you off, I'll lay low in Edinburgh and pretend to be a wandering knight. You'll all be stopping by Edinburgh on your way back from Orkney, right? So I'll rendezvous with you there. That sounds perfect. Where have you been hiding all these smarts? For that matter, why are you toiling away as Aurora's secret wagon horse all this time? You could have had a much more prestigious career under Woodrow's. Ha ha ha! As you can see, I've always had an affinity for the wind, so the Wind Clan city feels like home to me.
Didn't you say you were a fairy steed of flame earlier? Nah. Redra bit. Faster than wind.
Alright then, Oberon and I will head back to Londinium.
Wait, I'm going with you too. I'm sorry, Artoria. I know this is selfish of me, especially after I declared myself the Child of Prophecy's #1 knight. I know my going back to Londinium probably won't make much difference. But I can still help there, and I just can't leave it as people to fend for themselves. I understand, Gareth. Especially since I did give her an awesome armor. Of course, Gareth. You have nothing to apologize for. I think it's good that you found somewhere you belong. Don't worry about me. With Misaki, Da Vinci, and Muramasa, I'll be just fine. Sure, I'll miss having you around, but it won't be long before we get to see each other again in Londinium. So let's make sure we've both gotten stronger by then. You got it! In the meantime, I'll be keeping my ears peeled for the ring of the next bell. During all of our adventures, I wonder how the crew back at the border are doing. See you soon. Good luck to you too, Oberon. And don't go making too much trouble. Don't rack up even more debts. No more debt.
Right. Take care out there. Be warned, there's a ton of ash over there on that far shore. And it also gets freezing cold out there. And since neither Blanca nor I can cross the ocean, we have no idea what may be going on inside of Orkney. Still, whatever you find there, I'm sure it won't be as bad as what you had to overcome in the Russian Lost Belt. Oh, and keep an eye on Artoria. The more nonchalant she acts, the more she's tearing up inside.
Really? Yeah, I know. Really?
Yeah, she's been through a lot, you know. I doubt there's a soul in Britain better at putting on a brave face. Don't always take what she says at face value. Make sure you give her the support she really needs.
Wow, thanks for the advice.
Once we've rung the Orkney and Oxford bells, we'll have to move faster than ever. So in the meantime, I'll do whatever is necessary to find out where the 6th bell's located. After that, it'll finally be time to face Morgan, regardless of how the odds are stacked against us. What's more, something tells me that even defeating her won't be enough to solve all of our problems. There's something else in Britain. Something cursing every living creature here.
Ah, something cursing every living creature here.
Yeah, the pit. Unfortunately, we haven't the least idea what it could be. Remember this, Misaki. We still know almost nothing about Britain's history. If we're lucky, maybe you'll find a clue as to how this world came to be the way it is in Orkney. And if we're really lucky, that clue may just give us the edge we need to defeat Morgan.
Sounds good. But what about visiting Barghest, my love, ma'am? Soon enough. Oh, this looks rough to travel through. I hear a bell ringing. I hear a voice, my voice, call to me in a dream that hasn't changed once in my entire life.
But this is everything we can do for her right now. We think it'll be at least some use. So please make sure she gets it, okay?
And yeah, for insects and flowers, they are in a mutual relationship. Okay, I will. I think the Child of Prophecy will be thrilled to receive this.
Yeah, we think so too. You guys make sure you keep her safe, okay?
I didn't really want to accept those gifts. It was all junk. Any upper-class fairy who saw it would think it was just a pile of trash. But for those fairies who struggle just to make it through the day, it was their most precious treasure. I believe in treasure. I believe it's fine. And ooh, hello. I could see their hopes, their feelings in those gifts, and I could see their future. I saw the hope they were clinging to. I saw their joy in believing in something warm. I saw them tear up from the sheer gratitude of being alive, no matter how hard life was for them. And I saw how they would probably be gone by the next morning. By the next morning, uh-oh. The next time they came to Gloucester, those fairies were nowhere to be seen. They didn't entrust their hopes to the Child of Prophecy because they knew they weren't long for this world. They would have loved to live longer, but they wanted to help the Child of Prophecy even more. So they gave me the only treasure they had, their lives. Oh, that was the treasure? Well, that's a morbid treasure. I really wish they hadn't. Yeah, I don't think I want that treasure either. I see a Briton I don't recognize, in a world I know nothing about. I see a young squire standing alone in a town lit by only the rays of the setting sun. It's me as a little girl, though raised as a boy. This other Artoria is placing her hand on the sword of selection, even though no one told her to.
Britain's destruction is all but certain now. Anyone who would claim its throne is destined to be a sacrificial lamb. If you become its king, the people will place all their hopes on your shoulders, asking you to make everything right. If you fail, they'll be just as quick to curse you, blaming you for everything going wrong. You will gain nothing from this, truly. Truthfully, you'll only be making their life harder for yourself.
A lone mage with a kind face stands behind her, encouraging her not to go through with this. Oof.
You should think long and hard before you make your choice. Once you draw that sword, you'll never be able to go back to an ordinary human life.
Yeah, think about it. No, there's nothing to think about. This just doesn't make sense. The world ending is everyone's problem to solve. If it's going to end, it should end with everyone cursing each other equally. So why? Why are you? I saw many people smiling. I don't think that it was a mistake. Oh, that's cute. For the smiles of people. Oh, look, it's a craft essence art. Basically. The mountain. The battle. And this is what happened as a result. A pariah to even her own knights and subjects, even after she rebuilt the entire country. Crushed beneath the weight of a world's hope without ever knowing joy of her own. All she built came to ruin, and her trusted companions killed each other. Everyone she knew was dead, and so she died alone. Wow, she got to see her other self's entire life, huh? Is this some kind of joke? It's not funny, it's just cruel. How could you just use her to get what you wanted, and then ignore her forever? How could you forget her, like she was just some story you finished enjoying? Why did she have to do all that? Why did she feel like she had to? There was no reason at all for her to become king. It just seemed like she had the power to. I don't understand. I've seen her whole life play out now, and it hardly seems like something to aspire to. Why did it have to be you? Couldn't you have just let someone else do it? The worst thing I could say slipped out of my mouth before I could stop myself. My other self quietly turned around to face me and said, "Perhaps. I do think there may have been someone else suitable for this role." Then why? Why in the world did you do this? Why? I think you know the answer better than anyone. Touch the bright light. Boop. Oh, I wonder if she did see that too. It's like, ah yes, the time she was summoned for the Holy Grail War. Ah yes. Oh no, if she did though. Oh man. I can see why she'd be conflicted about her other self. Like, sheesh, other self, why'd you go through all that trouble?
We've been heading north on the highway all night, and it's almost noon now.
Redra, what happened to your flaming hair, your fiery hair of passion?
At this pace, we should arrive at the entrance to the Lake District by nightfall. Just please remember that we'll be parting ways temporarily once we get there.
Oh right, about that. I was actually hoping we could tweak our plans a little and you could head west from here. That's the way to Manchester, right? I want to stop by there before the Lake District. Manchester? As in Barghest domain? Are you sure about this, Misaki? I'm on board. Yes. I already suspected as much. I'm on board, yes. Gah! You're a dog person too? What about you, Muramasa?
What? Is it really that surprising? I just assumed you worked that out when Da Vinci said she wanted to go to Orkney.
Well, I didn't, okay? What about you, Habitrad? Did you know? Me? Da Vinci talked to me about it before we got on the wagon. She wanted to know if I'd mind stopping there before Orkney. So even you already knew about this, Happy Cat? But I'm supposed to be the leader. I'm sorry, Artoria, but even if you were on board with this plan, I don't think you'd be able to keep it to yourself. Barghest is still technically one of the Queen's Temlin, so I didn't want Percival or Oberon to know about this. Good point. Percival would certainly worry if he knew that we were stopping by an enemy's territory. And I doubt Oberon would have been very happy either. Would have been happy about it either, since she burned down his forest.
Manchester's a nice place. It's very unlike Oxford, which has been getting more modernized with its restaurants. It's still an idyllic fairy town, like you'd see in a story.
Ooh, I'm excited.
Fighting may be against the rules in Gloucester, but Manchester doesn't need to ban fighting. The whole town despises it, you see.
Really? Even though survival of the fittest is a law of the land there?
Ha ha ha. Don't worry. Barghest's take on survival of the fittest isn't quite what you're thinking.
Huh?
You'll see when we get there. Alright then, Manchester it is. Trust me, it's a lovely place full of peaceful wildlife. There won't be any fighting there whatsoever. I give you the Regerbit guarantee.
Haven't heard such a clear red flag in a while. Oh great, so it'll be nothing but fighting. I love it. Yeah, I'm even more excited to visit now. Manchester, Main Street. Inside a local tavern. Oh, they kind of remind me of the fairies from the forest. Or at least this one does, looks-wise. Woo! You tourists look really strong. This is awesome. Get 'em! I love it. What's with that sound? Oh, that was great. We made eye contact and then now we have to fight. It's like a Pokemon battle. That is wonderful. 10 out of 10. Alrighty, let me put her here. I just want more bonds right now. I don't feel fear, so there's bond time. Woohoo! But yeah, this place is fun. I love it already. 10 out of 10 would come here again. Okay, there's that craftiness that I've been raising. It shall be raised good. And we for bonds. Bonds for the win. And now, boop. Time to see who I'm fighting. Oh.
Elated Fairy.
Increases charge each turn. Understandable. Yeah, super understandable, ma'am. No fear. Yeah, no fear. I can't wait to visit more. Like, this one place is already amazing. Too bad this section is pretty short. Yes, I did get Jacques. What you doing? We want in. Oh. Oh no. Well, that was a thing. Okay, this is fine. Yeah, it's still fine. In this lost belt, I should just expect every so often for enemies to draw in more enemies after I break a gauge. Whenever there's a gauge, I should just expect the worst at this point. Because that's been happening a decent amount of times. Like breaking the tank and then the drivers come out. And this, as the most recent example. But this is fine, since they're all out already. No fear. Now go get them. Phew. Aw, look at the bond raising. Adorable. Ooh. Officially in Manchester now. And of course, more fighting. That doesn't look good. Ah! It's the same dream I've had several times before. I'm crying. I'm crying while eating the remains of what used to be my lover. They're delicious. I'm so happy. This is wonderful. It hurts. I'm heartbroken. This is madness. Predation is a fact of life for wild creatures. It's natural for us to seek out others, love them, and become one with them in order to survive. Living by the law set of the wild is also a source of pride for me. I'm blessed with an exceptional spirit origin, even for one of the Fang clan. As one who is born strong, I have a duty to govern and protect the weak. I have to be strong. I have to the strong so I can grow stronger. You see, my rules are right. I only love the strong. And those I love so that I may become an even better wild creature. That is my law in life. I wonder why that's censored. That is how I've had many strong meals, so I can defend Britain and protect the weak. But deep down... Oh, that's a new image. Having another good cry. Beep. Why did you come over here? You don't have to stop crying. Just tell me what happened today. Did something painful happen? Something sad? Did it happen to you while you smiled? Did it happen to someone else while you got upset? Whatever it was, please tell me. I want to know how you feel. It's okay. I promise I'll never stop liking you, no matter how embarrassing it might have been. His body seemed as though it could fall apart at any moment. He could barely speak above a whisper. Aww. He was the weakest creature I've ever known, yet he helped me tremendously when I was on the verge of a breakdown. You know, there's nothing like a fun story to cheer you up in hard times. Why don't I tell you another tale of your favorite Knights of the Round Table? I'll tell you a story of a flotsam that drifted here as a changeling. A florid, proud, and slightly somber story. A story of the brave knights you've always looked up to. Ah, yes. It could be a P instead of E. Yes. Delicious petting of lovers. Or patting. The knights of the stories were not compelled by anyone to be righteous. They were born righteous. They were proud. They were wonderful. They protected the weak and did good deeds wherever they went. They may have only stories from another world.
but I still admire them more than anything.
Hello?
Even though a despicable fairy like myself had no right to do so. But whenever I shared my trepidations through my tears, he always responded with a gentle smile.
There, look out of the garden. Those flower petals you planted have grown in beautifully. And I see you planted another one for me today, so that I could enjoy them even though I can't walk. Thank you. That's so kind of you. I only hope that one day, you'll be free of the pain you carry in your heart. Wow, they're so cute together. Yeah, I'll take in both of them. I'm not gonna just steal her away.
That's right. Her love runs true and deep, and with every new relationship, she's certain she can prevail over her need to consume. She has never succeeded. Now she's at her limit. No, she reached her limit long ago. I don't know how many times she's thought of putting herself out of her misery. But despite that urge, her strong sense of responsibility forbids her from taking the easy way out. So she lives with the guilt of devouring her lovers, and as penance, continues to protect Britain even as it tears her up inside. She's an example to all of us. That's why I want to help her any way I can. You're the only fairy possessed of true nobility. It would be a tragic loss for you to take your own life. So let's make a deal, Barghest. It's still a little too soon for you to take on the curse after all.
Sorry, so sorry.
I'm really sorry about that, everyone. I hope you can forgive them. I promise I'll give these idiots a stern talking to later, so this sort of thing doesn't happen again. They're very susceptible to trends, you see, and, well... You know how they're talking about Camelot preparing for the wars these days, right? They made them want to have a pretend war of their own. They were satisfied with board games up until you walked in, but...
Well, come on! Those fairies and the human just look so strong. I knew it'd be a blast to fight them.
Don't be daft. Have you forgotten that Lady Barghest is back right now? If you louts ever get someone killed, and she finds out about it, she'll have your heads and mine. You ought to be thanking your lucky stars that these people are so strong and understanding. Also, no more alcohol for you until I say so.
Oh, come on! Don't be like that. I can go back to not drinking human alcohol now that I know how good it is. That's even worse if the fairy that fought me was drunk. Sheesh! Well, Retrobit, care to revisit your Retrobit guarantee?
That's strange. I distinctly remember Manchester as a town bursting with smiles, kindness, and violence.
And violence. Don't be silly. There's no violence here. The rule of Manchester is survival of the fittest. She must have followed us here from the tavern. Huh, she looks like the fairies we saw in Wales. She does. She really does. I want to point that out, but... she did follow us. I'm Jenny. I was born near here recently. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I see. That explains it. They did say that after a fairy dies, they were born again, so that makes sense. So you must not know much about Manchester yet. Do you happen to know where the Lord's house is, Jenny? You mean Lady Barghest? Sure, it's over that way. At the end of the big road. Thanks, Jenny. I like how we zoom in. Oh yeah, I see it now. Looks like it's a big mansion with a beautiful garden. Anyway, I thought Manchester was a FangClan town, but I guess it has fairies like you too. Are there EarthClan fairies here as well? I'm not sure. I haven't seen many Earth fairies. There's a lot of humans here though. It's about half fairies, half humans. Really? So far, I've only seen fairies walking around. Are there really that many humans here too? Of course. It's survival of the fittest here, so the strong have to protect the weak. I know, because I'm one of the ones being protected. Lady Barghest might be strict, but she's also really kind and really funny.
So that's how she defined survival of the fittest, huh? Now I get it. I had my suspicions given that we've seen of her. But it does look like, to Barghest, survival of the fittest ain't about the strong preying on the weak.
That's right, she's been like this for as long as I can remember. The strong should only eat the strong, the weak aren't worth eating, so they must be protected. That's really wholesome! Wow! She'd say that all the time. Okay, now seems like a good time to ask about this. Did you know Barghest when you were kids or something, Artoria? You knew her name, were you like childhood friends? Everyone seems to know each other one way or another, like Percival and Lancelot. Of course not. Don't be silly. I mean, you saw how Barghest didn't even recognize me, right? Nope. Certainly haven't known her for a long while. No, sir. In fact, I don't know a single thing about her. Nothing. Artoria. Artoria, you sound very sus right now. Huh? I know about Lady Barghest. She's back at her mansion right now. Everyone in town keeps congratulating her over coming back to visit her new lover all the time. Are you kidding me? All her talk about being a proud and noble Tamlin, and she still has the time to keep lovers? Oh, that's adorable! Castoria references Barghest in her Valentine scene. That is so sweet.
Barghest's lover. Snort. I don't even want to think about it. You can't take what rumors say too seriously. It's not like she's ever confirmed any of them herself. And even if what they say is true, that's between her and her lovers, right? If they're all okay with that, who are we to judge?
Anu, hello. Well, true love or not, crimes are crimes. But this is also the land of the Fae, and we know different areas have their own very different values. Still, now that we come this far, we can't leave without seeing her. If you're scared, Regibit, it's okay, you can wait here. Besides, we're the ones who want to talk to her.
No, that's okay. I've come this far with you, and I'm not about to part ways now. Besides, I can't help it if she sets her sights on me as her next dish. That's just the burden someone as popular with all ages as me has to bear.
Good job, Redra. Being prepared. How am I doing? Surprisingly well. I feel amazing. Which is kind of terrifying, since I think I slept for like 4 hours. But that's actually a decent amount of sleep.
So things should take a turn for the worst. I can at least be bait, a meat shield for the rest of you, while you make your escape. Now come, let us be off to the demon's lair. I'm certainly not afraid of any horrific fairy-eating black dog.
Yeah, no fear. Oh, she's still wearing the outfit.
Welcome to Manchester, everyone. What a wonderful surprise to see you take me up on my good quest less than a day after I made it.
Sparkles!
Gorgeous. Who in the world would call such a beautiful lady horrific? I see now that you're nothing less than a true noble, nay, a true champion. Personally, I, Ridgerbit, feel as though I've just been hung out dry in the final corner.
Thank you for your kind words. May I ask who this Fang Clan fairy is? He's just another hapless horse. Happy Cat, would you mind taking Redra outside for a bit? Sure thing. Come on, Regibit. Let's go out to the yard. I noticed there was a fun-looking plaza out there.
Heh. It's called a paddock, Habitrot. Ah, there really is nothing like a clan mansion. They always have so many luxuries, even when the owner has no particular plans to use them.
Thanks for the warm welcome. I see you're still wearing your dress today. I did notice at first, but I will thank her. I will be polite. Thank you for the warm welcome.
Of course. It is incumbent upon every good lord to show their guests proper hospitality. All the more so when it was I who invited you to begin with. If anything, I should be thanking you.
Anyway, I'm glad you let us in here without even patting us down. Now that we know for sure that you don't mean to fight us, we can relax now and get down to, Barghest?
I'm afraid you're mistaken that. Well, I certainly bear you no ill will. As you can see, I do have every intention of fighting you.
Huh? What's the meaning of this, Barghest?
Would you kindly stay out of this? My business is with you, Misaki, Master of Chaldea, and Leonardo da Vinci, her faithful servant. I know this is unbecoming, but I would like to ask you, with all respect, for a duel. Would you be so kind as to show me your strength once again?
Of course! I get it, she wants to see for herself how strong Chaldea is. Of course, of course! Now I see, you want to find out if Chaldea can walk the walk before we talk the talk, huh? I gather you won't trust us unless we can prove we're able to beat you without the Child of Prophecy's help.
That's true, yes. But more than that, I'm interested in you, Misaki. I want to see just how far a mere human can go against us fairies. No. I'm going to see for myself whether your victory so far have been more than just a fluke.
Aw, she wants me mainly. I will make her proud. Interesting. Okay. Alrighty, that's fun. That's a easy restriction. But then again, maybe I should not underestimate her. So Merlin, come here, Merlin. Merlin, save me. Keep me healthy, Merlin. I won't even use the Bondcraft essence. I will resist the temptation. Here you go, Merlin. Something for arts. Arts. Merlin. And Arjuna's fine. He'll do good. Single target? Nah. Arjuna, believe in the power of my boy. He will do the thing. There's no need to worry. Who needs single target when you have someone who can just bonk hard? Or at least believe. Time for pain and suffering. Show your powers. Oh, this is nice. This is very nice. Do I have a favorite servant? I don't have like a top favorite. For most things in general, I just don't feel like super duper strong about stuff. Like, yes, it's my ultimate favorite. It's usually favorites. And the ones who I am grailing are up there. Even if I could have used Super Orion, nah. Most of the times when I bring him, I'm still scarred how he just goes poof. And I'm like, but boy, you were supposed to save me. You were supposed to carry my team. Oh, she did a thing, okay. I should have expected her to do that. Oh, my bad. Well, I will redo this. And I will just automatically use Merlin. Yep, I have learned. Let's go back. Doo-doo-doo. Merlin, save me. Do I have a JP account also? No. I need to understand the game to play it. And if I can't read, then I can't play. Okay, this should be fine. Yeah, this is completely fine. Oh, look, it even remembered what I used. That is so cute. That's fine. Am I surprised at Barghest's nature? Not really. She seems sweet. And eating strong stuff ain't that bad. Now just stare what she has. Okay. This be fine. Wee! Do the thing. Yeah, no fear. Barghest is just adorable. I'm just sad she did not accept the sweets that I offered her. Like, ma'am, I wanted to give you some delicious sweets. Please take them. I'm not trying to poison you. Oh, you're referring to a different thing. Okay, never mind then. I thought you were referencing the part where we're giving her food from earlier during the when we first meet her around the campfire. Okay, good. That could have ended so badly, but nah, it's fine. Everything's all good here. Yeah, indeed. There is no fear. What is fear? Fear don't exist here. Okay. You lost your NA account? Oh no! I heard that the support team is good if you have some information on it on your old account. I've never tested that myself though, but it's what I've heard. And decisions. I feel like she's gonna destroy me if I use a noble phantasm, which I will. Because I'm edgy like that. I will not resist, and I'll even do this. Boop. Yeah, no fear. Yeah, I'm not gonna feel fear. Plus, maybe, just maybe she'll do a thing afterwards. The thing being like, yes, time to use another noble phantasm, but then again, I don't have any command spells that she can eat. So she wouldn't be able to steal my energy, but still, just in case. Wow, if they respond to your messages in about 2-3 hours, that's fast. That is super fast. Okay, break the gauge. Yay, battle finish. No worries. Delicious buns. I hope she says I passed the test. I love it. I was expecting someone super buff, but since she says he's like kind of like sickly, I'm just imagining like a really, really small dude now. Well, this has been a day of extremes. 1 minute we're fighting, the next we're enjoying a veritable feast. Yummy, yummy food. Well, these gnocchi are so good. I love how versatile potatoes are, no matter what no matter what world they come from. I don't know if I've ever had gnocchi. I don't think I've had that. I gotta try that someday.
These oysters are amazing too.
Oh, I love oysters. Okay, that is good.
I was a little shocked when they came out on that huge plate piled up to the ceiling, but damn, if I couldn't eat these things forever.
Oh, I love that. And don't let the fancy presentation fool you. It's not nearly as impressive as it looks. Just look at all those meat pies dominating the table. There must be enough to cover Garrett's entire shield. That makes pretty clear how vain Baggy is. What's so bad about that? I love meat pies. She's obviously trying to break our concentration by overwhelming us with quantity and flourishes. Won't work on me though. It won't work on you? You don't want the food? But it looks it looks delicious. Nom nom nom, it tastes delicious. So you're not aware that you're taking a bite of meat pie even as you speak? Oh man, this is really good.
There. I changed back to my usual armor now that I'm done with both fighting and cooking. I do hope you like the food, and I apologize that I couldn't make anything more than these simple dishes. Normally, I would have had my chefs do the cooking, but I had to give them a leave of absence as part of my house arrest.
You mean, you made this all yourself? That truly makes you even more adorable.
That's right, but it's nothing too impressive. I merely imitated flour-based human culinary techniques and drilled them into me. It's a far cry from the gourmet cuisine they serve in Camelot.
Is that so? I didn't think your Tamlin were so domestic. It must be hard for the lord of a hick town like this if you have to do your own cooking.
I don't understand. Shouldn't everyone who plans to get married someday be able to do all manner of housework?
Oh, that is so cute! Barghest, I volunteer as your next husband. Okay, let's not go down that path any further. Besides, we have other things to talk about. Ahem, everything was great, but I think we should get down to business.
Indeed. Now that we've come this far, I will be completely frank with you. I want to keep the residents of Britain safe. That is why I pledge my horn to Her Majesty. But Her Majesty does not share that goal. In fact, she is actively working to worsen the Great Calamity. She cares only for Fairy Britain itself, not the Fae who inhabit it. So, here's my proposal to you, Child of Prophecy. If you mean to ring the bells of pilgrimage so that you may truly save Britain, I'm willing to fight for your cause. If need be, I will even rise up against the Queen herself during the Battle of Camelot that is now sure to come.
You're serious about this, aren't you? I don't mind having you on board, but what about your pride as a knight? Do you really want to join our side even after you destroy the human ranch and burn down the Welsh forest at the Queen's command?
That's right. Even if it is too little too late, I still wish to join you. As to my crimes, you're welcome to convene a court-martial after the Battle of Camelot. Rest assured that I will expect no mercy. I will accept whatever punishment fits my crimes.
Ah, yes, your punishment will be letting me summon you in my Chaldea, ma'am.
But first, I want you to promise me one thing. Misaki, Da Vinci. You both said it was possible for Fairy Britain's residents to immigrate to proper human history. If that is true, and you two are willing to tolerate fairies living among you, then I would ask that you please give the matter some thought. Her Majesty has already told me that our Britain is what is known as a lost belt. A world that was meant to disappear to make way for proper human history. I believe it. I have no doubt that this Britain should never have come to exist.
What makes you say that, Barghest? You want to protect Britain, right? So why do you think it should never have existed? Aren't those two ideas mutually exclusive?
Because we fear this land, every one of us. I suspect you could ask any fairy in the land, and they would give the same answer. At any rate, under Queen Morgan's reign, every fairy will perish by the end of the year. I naturally have no notion of what our lives would be like under the Child of Prophecy's reign.
Ah, offerings to her hubby? Well, if anything, I'm gonna have a talk with him saying that I will provide for her and I will make her happy. And then he'll probably be like, you know what? Understandable, Misaki. I will share my wife with you.
But if there should be fairies who, under her reign, wish to move outside the world, I hope you would take them in. If worst comes to worst, and this Britain really does disappear, I could ask for nothing more than to have the fairies born here live in your world.
What do you think, technical advisor? I think it's a great idea. In fact, I can't come up with a single reason to refuse. The storm border is big enough to hold up to 500 refugees. They would have to live there until we resolve the bleached earth phenomenon, of course. But as long as you're okay with that, they should be able to get by in the border just fine. Besides, this is exactly what the storm border was designed for. It's a modern-day Noah's Ark. While there aren't very many of them, there have been a few vessels like that in proper human history. They served as literal lifeboats to preserve the future of the species they carried.
500 ain't a whole lot compared to the fairy population at large, though. You gonna be okay with that, Barghest? Yes. Saving even a small number is far better than failing to save anyone. As long as you remember this promise, no, my wish, then I will gladly become a filthy turncoat for your cause. Of course, I am sure Sir Gawain would think poorly of me for this. However briefly I use his name, I admit the very idea of betraying one's lord must be unthinkable to him.
Gawain would have some choice words for you, but he'd also be proud of you. Are you really sure about this? Are you really sure about this?
I'm sure. You said something like this before yourself, Misaki. Even if the world is about to disappear, you didn't want to let what might come tomorrow ruin today. And you were exactly right. Instead of worrying what might happen tomorrow, I should focus on what I can do today.
Ah, yes. That's future me's problem. Alright, I can't possibly turn you down at this point. Forgetting for a moment how in the world I'm going to explain this to Oberon. Tamlin Barghest, if you really want to help with the child, if you really want to help the Child of Prophecy, you can do so in Camelot. Once the fighting there begins, you're to refrain from attacking the Round Table army. That part is absolutely non-negotiable. Aside from that, well, if you feel like neutralizing some of the Queen's army for us, I'm not going to stop you. Anyway, those are my only instructions. Any thoughts, Barghest?
I'm surprised you didn't ask me to open the castle's gates from the inside for you. Did I not say you need not hold back on my behalf?
I know, but I just don't trust you enough to rely on you for something so crucial. All you have to do is fight within your means. We can break down the gates ourselves.
Good point. If I were lying, you would certainly be in dire straits if you trusted me to open the gates for you. You've made the right choice, but I must admit, I didn't expect you to be so severe.
Personally, I don't think it's gonna come to that. By the way, on a much lighter subject...
Yes, I'm happy to answer any questions you may have.
Can you introduce us to your significant other? I love all our expressions. Those smirks. Yeah, I'd love to meet them too. We heard all about it in town. They say you come back to Manchester all the time just so you can spend time with your new squeeze.
It's not all the time. I just come here as often as I can. Besides, he's not my significant other at all. He's just a human boy I take care of.
Oh, look at her blushing. It's adorable. Poke.
I only love the strong. I would never even dream of taking a lover as weak, incapable, and devoid of a future as him. You sure about that? They say love is blind for a reason. You could just as well end up falling in love with the last person you suspect. I could. I suppose I shouldn't be surprised that proper human history's culture is so advanced. But, I digress. Adonis is very weak. He's been sickly all his life. He's currently recuperating here in my mansion.
They even live together!
Well, he was very excited to meet you when I told him about you, Misaki. I'm afraid he's been struggling with an unrelenting coughing fit recently. And I haven't been able to get him the medicine he needs thanks to the imminent great calamity. So I want to at least get him to... I want to at least let him get all the rest he needs. That said, I would be very grateful if you could come here to meet him after the battle at Camelot.
Of course I'll meet him.
I may not be able to come back myself, but I know you would all get along very well. Gotcha. Sorry for the uncouth request. I guess fairies aren't the only people you want to keep safe. Of course not. I may not hesitate to discipline uneducated humans, but even that is no more than the basic training humans need to survive in this world. Fairies and humans are two halves of one whole. You cannot treat them separately. Protecting fairies means doing the same for humans.
Well, this has been a really productive talk. I'm glad we stopped by Manchester. I think this has been a good respite for you too, Artoria. You must have enjoyed getting to talk with an old fairy friend of yours, right? Sure, you might have been acting huffy, but you clearly also enjoyed the meat pies, seeing how you ate so many. A respite? Hardly. This wore me out even more than acting the part of the Child of Prophecy around the Round Table Army. Now, if we're done here, let's get going already. We still have to make it to the Lake District by nightfall.
The Lake District? I see. So you're going to Orkney. There may not be very moors up north, but each individual moors is stronger than what you are accustomed to. And those in the Lake District are especially strong at that. Be careful out there.
Thanks for the heads up. Got it. See you later then. Thanks for the heads up. But I'll see you later. I like Manchester. It's a fun place. I do wish this section was longer just because of it. What is it, Barghest? Still something on your mind?
Yes, I was just thinking about the relationship between master and servant you told me about during our meal. Her Majesty has told me about servants as well. Servants are spirit beings that are retrieved from the chronicle of human history, a place beyond time known as the Throne of Heroes. They come into being when their master summons them for a particular purpose. These servants then stay by their master's side, and should their master die, they vanish. Do I have that all correct?
Pretty much, yep. Why?
Then it doesn't make sense. What? That a servant obey a master when the master's weaker? I've wondered about that too, but no. That isn't what I'm talking about now. I'm talking about Beryl Gut. He claims that Queen Morgan is a servant he summoned himself. But Queen Morgan has never called Beryl Gut her master. And above all, he only came to Fairy Britain a few months ago, while Morgan has been queen for over 2,000 years. That's what doesn't make sense. Her Majesty was alive and well, long before this man came along. Unless, is it possible to summon a servant version of a current living person?
I've never heard of anything like that before, but maybe. Honestly, I've been wondering about that too. Well, maybe. Oh, that's kind of sad they already off the actual Morgan and replaced her with Servant Morgan. I can think of one possibility. There have been a few cases where the future forms of heroic spirits with exceptionally complex histories have been summoned in the present day, while their original selves were still alive. And since in proper human history, Morgan was known to have 3 separate personalities, it could be that one of them was summoned here. But of course, if that were the case, it would also mean that there are 2 Morgans here in Fairy Britain. I don't suppose you've seen any signs of a second Morgan, or even heard rumors to that effect?
No, I haven't. There is only one Queen Morgan, and she is not a servant. I have served Her Majesty for 200 years. I'm absolutely certain that she is a fairy. That's why I wish to ask you about this. Is this Beryl Gut truly Morgan's master?
I don't know. Beryl's just sus. Whatever he says is sus. Like how he is the queen's lover and also the queen's daughter's lover. Oh, bright light. Circumstantial change confirmed. The price has now been paid. I have a proposal for you, chosen ones, an offer for those of you who were cast aside. If you desire acclamation, then choose rebirth. If you desire indolence, then choose eternal sleep. It makes no difference to a god. It makes no difference? Well, it sure as shit makes a difference to me whether I live or die. Living inevitably means struggling, while dying takes those struggles right off of your plate. I've always preferred to keep things simple. I can't even dance if I've got too much on my mind. Acclaim, power, the future of humanity, being the best version of myself I can. fact is, I don't care enough about myself to get worked up about any of that. There could be a fusion. But nah, Morgan's just Morgan.
Okay, Mr. Foreign God, I hear you. But before I give you my answer, can you tell me one thing first?
I asked him if there was anything in this world that actually mattered to me. And he answered me without a second thought. Guess that's a god for you. Okay, now it's about them.
Hey, Krishtarya! So you made it back to life too, huh? Well, hey, that's awesome! I thought I'd be the first one out, but I guess I was dead wrong. I mean, we're talking about a foreign god here, right? One who says he's gonna refute all of human history. I figured the only ones who jump on a sweet offer like that would be me, Pepperoncino, or David. Not at all. I have as much desire as the next person. What could be more enticing than the prospect of creating a new human history? You'd have to be mad to refuse. Well, damn, I stand corrected. So you finally showed your true colors, huh, Woldheim? I mean, there's been times before when I couldn't believe the stuff that came out of your mouth, but still. Anyway, you got a real nice smile now. I like it. It's a big relief. That smile says I'm gonna abandon all of humanity to their deaths, so I can be the king of the next goddamn world. If you were all broken up about this while pretending to be one of the good guys, then I'd have some serious reservations about sticking with you. Do I really seem that different now than I did before? Nope, you don't. That's why I'm so happy about this. You've actually been off your rocker this whole time. Oh well. At least I already know on some level that the members of Team A misunderstood me in many ways. Huh? Hey, don't get all gloomy on me. I like this new you. So, what do you want me to do, Woldheim? You're the team leader, yeah? And hey, now that I finally get what the whole cryptid thing was all about. That's right. You were brought into the Singularity repair missions for emergency contingencies, weren't you? You know about our secret Sirius lights, and how to use them. You also know how they're designed to deliver the decisive blow to ensure the preservation of humanity. When the foreseen singularities appear in the 7 points in human history, we expect them to. Huh, I thought only me and Marisbury knew about the Sirius lights. Guess you did too, huh? Or maybe the foreign god told you. Either way, you sure cut my work out for me. Well, you guessed it. I'm the cleanup guy. It's my job to dispose of anyone thinking about deserting their post. So what are you gonna do with me now? Gonna kill me here while we're all alone, so as not to wreck team morale? No, I think your ruthlessness could be useful. I want to use it. Eventually, everyone from Team A will be resurrected again. And assigned a lost belt. From there, the foreign god will give us each a ticket to potentially become the king of the world, in exchange for growing our lost belt's tree of emptiness. And I would like you to tear your ticket up. You don't mind, right? It's not as though that ticket will actually be good for anything. However, you can't be reckless about it. You'll need to do it in secret while making it seem as though you're still giving it an honest try. Huh, hang on, you're telling me to betray the foreign god too? And what was that about tearing up my chance to become the king of the world? Are you shitting me with? You'll be assigned the Isle of Britain. I took the liberty of choosing it for you. I assume you don't mind it being your homeland. And if I do, not even Marisbury was this unilateral about his decision-making, you know? I see, unfortunately. Now that I've already brought this up, I can't pretend it never happened. If you refuse, I'm afraid I'll have no choice but to kill you. Wait, seriously? So I got no choice in this? Thank you, Beryl. I'm glad we understand each other. You're the only one I can ask to do this. I don't know what that lost belt is like, but I do know Britain is crucial to the Magecraft world. There's no telling what would happen if the foreign god were to inhabit something which came from there. It's the one lost belt that must be cut down before it can grow to maturity. How you choose to go about it is your business, but basically, you want me to just slack off like I've always done, right? Okay, pal, you got it. Besides, I never had much interest in competing to be king of the world anyway. This gig's way more up my alley. That said, Woldheim, This is still a deal we're making, so I expect you to keep up your end of it too. Once you become the king of the world, you better make damn sure I live it up in the lap of luxury, alright?
I would actually feel the same about that. I'd be like, okay, well, Dime, if you want me to just slack off, sure, I can do that. That's easy. But make sure after I do that thing for you, make my life just a breeze afterwards. Keep thanks.
Shit. There really isn't a goddamn thing here, is there? Well, apart from all the phantasmals and fairies and assorted nasty beasties running around. How's a place like this gonna be any threat to the new human history? I guess even Wodime gets it wrong every now and... No, wait. I remember that look on his face. Whatever's here, he was positive it was gonna be a problem. Maybe he knew about something funky going down in London. The rest of us didn't. Ah well, no sweat off my back. That makes my job even easier. Now I can take care of the Tree of Emptiness without anyone getting in my way. Speaking of which, I should probably go about summoning my servant. Thanks for making sure that each crypter could summon at least one servant, Marisbury. I mean, it was the least you could do after inscribing us with something as dangerous as the Sirius Lights, but still. Of course, I still don't know exactly what kind of servant I'm gonna get. But I think I can make a pretty good guess. Whoever I summon, my only condition is that they're capable of destroying the world.
Wow, what a condition. The ultimatum is someone that can destroy the world.
I am Morgan, the Fairy Queen, a ruler. I have come in response to your summons. You there, descendant of witches. Are you my master?
So that's how he ended up here. Well, I guess it's good to know about Barrel's backstory. And how chill he was about this. He's like, yay, I have the easiest job out of everyone. I like this. Ha ha ha. Would I send Barrel against my enemy or bonk him myself? I'd rather bonk him myself. I'd rather not deal with Barrel because if I have to owe him a favor or pay him, nah.
Yawn. That was a good nap. I knew I made the right choice stopping here before heading home to Darlington. Whoops, sorry, Queenie. Didn't realize you were still hard at work on the throne all by your lonesome. Still, don't you think it's time you chilled out just a bit, Morgan? The Tree of Emptiness is dead. Krishtara was our biggest enemy, and we defeated him too. The foreign god never got a hold of a spirit origin she wanted, and she never will now. There's nothing for us to be afraid of. We practically already won. So why not just relax? It's not like Chaldea or the Child of Prophecy are any threat to you, right? Of course not. I've never considered either of them to be my enemy. My only enemies are the humans who once rejected me, and the Isle of Britain that would reject the fairy Britain I've created. Proper human history itself is my enemy, and so I will not relinquish my throne until it has been truly, utterly destroyed. Know this, Barrelgut. The fault for Baoban Sith's failure in Gloucester lies in part with you. If you are so inept as to be unable to babysit a child, I will be forced to reconsider your position as both my husband and master.
Yes, reconsider it. Make me your husband and master.
Tell Baoban Sith she has had her final chance. I have clearly been too soft on her. It is time she learned to carry herself in a manner befitting my heir. Whatever you say, Morgan. She'd be a lot happier to hear that from you, but I guess that's too much to ask.
Come on, Barrel, if you're gonna be a good husband, you gotta do the thing. You gotta tell the punishment.
You don't really love anyone, so there's no chance you'd allow an heir to take over for you. Man, I almost feel sorry for Baoban Sith being adopted by a woman as cold-hearted as you.
I don't know who's the worst parent then. Morgan or... No, actually, it's Barrel. It's Barrel. Hands down, Barrel. Morgan at least gave her an epic title and also Lots of money and that mirror for teleportation. Like, sure, she's hands off, but that's not bad. That ain't bad at all. And ooh, back to Mash's journey, Fragment 8. In the Northern Plains. Fragment. After the incident at the pit, Mash and Ace began investigating ruins all over Britain. Their only leads were the stories passed down within the Mirror Clan, and the murals left by the Rain Clan. And so, they set out from west to east on a great adventure in search of written records left behind by humans. Between running into Moors, getting attacked by anti-Londinium fairies, and fighting the occasional giant monster when Ace felt like it, things weren't always easy. Ah yes, when you feel like it, just fighting a giant monster. But when all was said and done, these travels became lovely memories. Of course, it helped that Mash was always so strong and awesome no matter what. I love this narrator. Hey Mash, didn't you call me by some weird name when we first met? I guess I did. I'm sorry. You, look so much like someone else I know that it just slipped out. Really? There's someone out there who looks just like me? What are they like? I only spent a little time with her, but that was enough for me to know that she's a wonderful person. She's brave and kind and dependable, and she spent a lot of time in her workshop making all sorts of clothes. Her name is Habitrot. She's a very happy fairy who wants nothing more than to be the friend to brides everywhere. Whoa, so there's a fairy like that in the future, huh? I guess her name does sound a lot like mine. Maybe it's a fake name like Ace's. Maybe she's trying to cover up her true name. That's enough, Mash. He agreed not to tell us too much about the future, remember? You're right, I'm sorry. I thought it would make Totoro happy, and I couldn't stop to think about what I was doing. Gotcha. You can be pretty careless sometimes, huh, Mash? I'm sorry too. Still, I like the idea of being friends to brides everywhere too. That sounds like a great life to me. Well, they had a lot of conversations like that, so I thought I'd include one for posterity. Anyway, their search for the ruins lasted about 5 months. Oh gosh, they've been traveling that long. Mash must have been with them for a while. Even without that, I don't even know how long her other journeys took before this. They didn't learn much, but they didn't give up either. They kept doggedly pursuing the threads of Britain's history, and eventually arrived at the priestess's prophecy. It was Britain's first prophecy of destruction, a curse left behind by the first human, the priestess of the enshrined deity. It predicted that there would be 4 major wars named after the 4 seasons, but the War of Winter had not yet happened. They never did find out what it meant. Really, all I got from our expedition was a lot of fun memories. And while I know I've already written this down several times, let me remind you of this once again, that this took place in Fair Era 400. Now, there were only a few days to go until the coronation at Londinium, which would decide the fate of all of Britain. And as one of the key figures in that coronation, Ace needed to return to the castle soon. There, the needlework's all done. All I have to do now is make the embroidery motifs. I think I'll make a purple rose for Ace and a blue rose for Mash.
Let me see. You did a good job. I have no complaints. You've gone from a crybaby to an expert. This is why I love handicrafts. Although, I'm not sure about using embroidery for the brooch. Ace is going to be a queen, so she should have something that shines. I think a pattern of beads modeled after the world tree should do just the trick. Here, give me that. Let me show you how it's done.
Mr. Black Knight, can you make me an awesome outfit too? He's the professional here. Whoa, have you always been that good with your hands, Black Knight? You're like some sort of sewing master. Totoro's changed so much since you came along, Mash. It's all thanks to you. We've been together for hundreds of years, but I've never seen this side of her before. Ugh, I really am a terrible friend. I was so caught in the fighting that I never even noticed what Totoro was going through, and she's always been there for me. Oh no, it was nothing. I just happened to be in the right place at the right time, that's all. And the only reason Totoro got interested in making clothes in the first place is the upcoming coronation. She said she wanted to make you a gown so pretty that you'd be the fairest fairy in all of Britain. So I'm sure she would have gone on to become a great tailor even if I'd never shown up. Ask? Alright, I think you deserve to know at least a little of how I really feel. I'm no savior, Mash. All I want to do is keep Britain itself alive. I no longer have any intention of saving all of its fairies or protecting humans like you. Huh? What are you saying? You are protecting everyone. I've seen it myself. Here's the thing, Mash. For the last 3,600 years, I've been dispelling the calamities that appear every 100 years, and the great calamities that appear every 1,000. Before, when I said I would let the fairies handle the aftermath and go to sleep in a coffin, well, it wasn't the whole truth. The truth is, every time I saved them from a calamity, the fairies would come after me. I've never known a moment of true peace. The only thing I could ever do was run for my life and hibernate for years at a time. I'm sure that, at the start, I really did want to build an ideal nation. But not now, not anymore. Every time I decide to work harder and finally get it right next time, I only ever end up having more stones thrown at me. I've been imprisoned, crucified, beheaded, drowned, burned. The only thing they haven't done is poison me, so by now, I've stopped putting up my hopes in fairies. Sheesh! They really don't like her. My only companions are Totoro, the Black Knight, and Rhynek. I'm not even sure about Uther. Even they only see me as an important tool, nothing more. So I only fight to protect Britain for myself. It's the only place I belong. That's why I'm going to unify the fairies and give humans the right to build a kingdom. That's the Britain I want. The sort of story proper human history would never allow. I've never been Ask the Savior. I'm just Ask the Witch. But surely there must have been at least one good fairy, right? One who believed in you and understood you? Wasn't there ever a single fairy you genuinely wanted to help? No, there wasn't. Not a single one. That's why things turned out this way. Mash, you came here from the heir of the High Queen. I don't know which faction you belonged to in that time. I can never know, for if I did, that would change what happens in the future. I've been vacillating for a long time now about whether to kill you or save you, but I don't think it matters now. This is the Fae era, a history entirely of the Tree of Emptiness is making. And as long as that tree exists, anything goes in this lost belt. No matter what may be added into this world, it will simply adjust its history to match. Things don't have to make sense in a world with a Tree of Emptiness. The reason Morgan was so cavalier about using the water mirror to send things back to the time of the Fae era is her awareness that nothing which changed in the Fae era will affect the start of the era of the High Queen. So you're saying worlds created by the Tree of Emptiness can tolerate a fair number of discrepancies without falling apart? That's right, that's why I'm here. The Fae era is the last point in time where things can be so wibbly-wobbly. The moment you spoke of the era of the High Queen, I had a flash of insight as to how the future must have played out. She must have used all the magical energy stored inside the Tree of Emptiness to transform this lost belt into a singularity. I still won't know why she chooses to do that until the time comes, of course. But in the meantime, Mash, I can tell that you can only exist while the Fae era lasts. In 400 years, at the start of the era of the High Queen, you'll disappear whether you're still alive or dead. You do understand that, right? Oof. Yes, I arrived in Britain in the year 2019 at the era of the High Queen. Since I didn't exist in the era before that date, when the Tree of Emptiness dies... I swear, just because Faye Era's history can be changed, that doesn't give her the right to send every problem she can't handle back to the past, let nature disappear for it. I mean, nature disappeared for her. And now she started sending servants as well as calamities. Unbelievable. What do I make of Ace's feeling over this? Well, her feelings are similar to Morgan's. Yeah, like they're very, very similar. That's just pathetic. That's just pathetic. It is what it is. So I guess the least I can do is make things right. Since I'm mixed up in all this too, it's my responsibility to send you back to the future you came from. Are you sure? No, wait. Is that even possible? In a way, yes. It should work as long as there aren't any historical inconsistencies leading up to the calamity of Norwich in the year 2019 and the era of the High Queen. So, how would you feel about hiding out at the farthest edge of the world, where no one would ever see you? Ooh. An option for MASH. Please send MASH back to me. Lake region. Albion. Okay, I'm still doing good in time. I can do this. This part for sure. Part 1. And maybe part 2. I just gotta be very careful with the time. Cause I kinda do want snacks. I already bought my ticket. I don't know how busy the theater is gonna be, so I can't gauge how long lines would be for snacks. But I love movie butter popcorn. It just hits different. Sure, I can always get the microwavable bags, but they don't taste the same. There's a Tree of Emptiness over on the far shore. So this is the Lake District. Does the Lake District exist in the real Britain too? Well, let's see. I will ask. Boop. Of course, it's one of the UK's biggest tourist attractions. It's known for its glacial lakes that seem to stretch on forever, and for its steep rocky crags that have never been touched by civilization. In stark contrast to highly developed cities like London, it still retains the natural beauty it's had for at least 100 years. Fancy clothes, gourmet meals, and thrilling entertainment are great and all, but there's definitely something to be said for the kind of leisure time where you can just lose yourself in your environment.
Hey Misaki, Artoria still hasn't cheered up. What's going on with her?
Is this your first time to the Lake District, Artoria? Too bad Oberon isn't here with us, then they'd be bickering and then that would make her happy. Is this your first time in the Lake District? Huh? Yeah. I was just thinking, so this is the famous Lake District. It, sure is as pretty as the picture, isn't it? Also, just as quiet. Did I mention quiet?
Damn, you have no poker face at all, do you? You're obviously still thinking about what Barghest told us, right? Don't keep it to yourself.
Is the Sparrow God truly Morgan's master? Huh, that is the question. Though of course, the real question is Morgan actually a servant? It's a hell of a conundrum, that's for sure. Misaki and I have been going back and forth, trying to square that circle ever since we got here. At first, I thought Morgan was the king of this lost belt. Same, I mean, she pretty much had to be if she's been ruling here for 2,000 odd years. But after meeting Morgan and Beryl in Camelot...
You mean when Beryl said that he was Morgan's master and she didn't deny it? So Morgan's not Beryl's servant, but Beryl is Morgan's master. That's a brainbuster, ain't it? I don't even know where to begin. Any ideas as to how that could work, Da Vinci?
I'm afraid not. There's just too little information to work with. If Holmes were here, he could string a number of theories together into a plausible hypothesis. But he's not. What about you, Artoria? Did you come up with anything? I do have one idea, I think. I remember what you said about masters and servants, and the kind of things Caldea's done so far. But I'd rather not think about it any more than that. If I'm right, then Morgan would be impossible for you to beat. A fairy you'd rather not even fight at all if you don't have to. A Habitrot? What's wrong with not wanting to fight her? Who says you have to try and beat her no matter what? Caldea's goal is to acquire Morgan's Rongominiad, and the Child of Prophecy's goal is to bring the 6 spells. Trust me, I heard Einzel's Child of Prophecy poem in Londinium enough to last a lifetime. And there's not a single verse in there about killing the queen. But Morgan herself told me to defeat her. Did she now? And she's just playing everyone's antagonist because she doesn't dare trust anyone anymore. But I'm not saying more than that. All I care about is Mash and Misaki finally being reunited. You can't go around trying to please everyone else all the time. Sometimes you just gotta tell them to piss off.
No more chit-chat. We've already got a few more headed our way. You remember Barghest warning Misaki? Good. Then don't hold back. We're all counting on your firepower to get us through this. No worries.
No fear, no fear. Totally fine, completely fine. Shouldn't be that bad right now, it's only the first fight. Okay, there's 3. Well, yeah, 3 waves, that's fine. No fear. Let's go after this one first. Nobu, please do big damage. Thank you, Nobu. And while I do that, I sip on water. Water good. Oh no, not the curse.
But it's okay.
Maybe. Kinda sort of. Go get him. Great job, Arjuna. I believe in you. Woohoo! My boy did the thing. Large Moors. No fear. Yeah, this be fine. I'm just gonna use guts just in case. But still, no fear. I want to save most of the buffs for the last wave. Go get him. Yep, that worked pretty good. Now, ouch. Curses for days. I'm sorry, Nobu. You're just suffering here. Sorry, my lovely Nobu. I want to weaken that other Moors now. Good job. And depending what cards I get, I might be able to bonk them both in the next turn. All possible. I shall believe. And away we go. Let's go for this one first. Yeah, this is fine. Boop. The power of believing. See, I believed hard enough. Oh. Mysterious biological weapon. Alrighty. And look at the symbol on it. I wonder who could have left that there. Yeah, who could it be? A person whose name starts with K? Could it be? Starts with K, ends with an A. Pink hair. No, it could never be. I just love how she leaves her logo on there. So mysterious. Very, very mysterious. It's funny. Koyan Sky just leaving her traces all around. At least I know she's been here. Ooh, that means maybe I'm getting close to the dragon bones. That last monster was certainly new for Britain. Man, the Moors really are stronger around here. That last monster though. But I'll talk about the Moors. That's because the fairies they used to be were really strong. Makes sense, since this used to be the Northern Fairies' holy ground. Looks like it's going to take us at least a full day to make it through the Lake District and get to the North Coast. I don't think we'll make it more than halfway today. We should look for a forest where we can make camp before nightfall. Say, Habitat, do you maybe know this area? You said that you were originally from the north, right? Well, yeah, I guess. This place hasn't changed in forever, so I at least know it better than the south. Why do you ask, Da Vinci? You want a history lecture from old Happy Cat? If you could, that'd be great. We never heard much about the Lake Districts down south. Gotcha. Okay then, but just until sunset. Long ago, Britain used to be way smaller. Back then, this area was all ocean. At the time, Britain was the only landmass in the world. At least, the fairies thought so they worked to expand the isle. Then one day, when they'd expanded it up to where Manchester is now, they noticed that there was a forest on the far shore. That was this place, the British Lost Belt's Lake District, a forest in the middle of the ocean. That was where the Northern Fairies came from. They'd been living off the fruits of that forest all that time. The Northern Fairies? So they were Knockneri's ancestors? Yep, the 6 clans in the Northern Fairies have totally separate lineages. Anyway, back in the Fae Era 6000, I guess that'd be 8,000 years ago, Britain had its very first war. In it, the Northern and Southern Fairies fought each other. Nowadays, it's known as the War of Spring. It happened when the Northern Fairies got jealous of all the land the Southern Fairies had, and crossed the sea to invade it. But even though their leader was super strong on average, the Northern Fairies were still weaker than the Southern ones. Back then, there were no humans on the Northern Fairy side. Only the Southern Fairies kept humans. So the war ended with the Northern Fairies' victory. Apparently, it was a total massacre. Whenever the Northern Fairies' successors were born, the Southern Fairies would just kill them on the spot. That's where they got all the bodies they needed to fill in the ocean up to the Lake District. They killed so many Northern Fairies that eventually new generations stopped being born altogether. What happened to the Northern Fairies after that? Everyone thought they'd gone extinct, but nope. It turned out that they were still alive. The leader of the Northern Fairies was made of much sterner stuff than any fairy from the 6 clans. Well, they weren't called the 6 clans back then, but you know what I mean. Anyway, the Northern Queen escaped, left the Lake District, and went on to make the Western Island all by herself out in the middle of the empty sea. The Western Island, Ireland, became a legendary island that no one could see, but existed all the same. It became the final hope for fairies who were exiled from Britain, a sort of last bastion of castaways. Later on, there'd been another war between the North and the South called the War of Summer. But that has nothing to do with the Lake District, so I'll just skip that one. Anyway, after the first war, the War of Spring, the Southern Fairies claimed the Lake District for themselves and began developing their civilization even further. The fairies that would go on to become the Mirror Clan, and the fairies in Britain's northmost area would go on to become the Rain Clan, each built thriving cities there. Though of course, as you can see, they've long since been wiped out.
Not sure thriving is the word I'd use then. Then again, the idea of a single country enduring for more than 1,000 years doesn't really fit for us non-Brits in the first place.
Morgan's Fairy Britain has lasted more than 2,000 years, remember? Of course, you can't really call it thriving either, since it hasn't advanced any in all that time. The Rain Clan. I see. Britain's skies are always cast in twilight. So it makes sense that there would have been fairies who control the rain and other weather. But why did the Rain Clan go extinct? Did they disappear naturally or... I'll tell you that once we get to Orkney. All you need to know for now is that the Rain Clan and their city, Orkney, were destroyed in Fairy Era 4000. So 6,000 years ago then. So 2,000 years after the War of Spring. So 6,000 years ago then. Now I see. So that's why Ireland's nowhere to be found. What I make of Habitat's history lesson... I'm just treating this as a normal history class. I'm bad. I'll be like, yeah, sure. I'll remember that for like a few days, and then afterwards, I might drop the information for history. I'm bad. I'm very, very bad like that. The Northern Fairies must be of Irish descent. And the only Northern fairy to survive the War of Spring was their queen. But then, what happened to the Western Island? Why is it gone too? Why do you think? Because the Northern Fairies migrate to Britain, of course. Mad made that island to keep her fairies safe. She took it all back to herself, just before she invaded the British Isle. That was the War of Summer, back in the Fae Era 2000. Ace the Saver and the first Tamlin fought in it too. Man, you guys wouldn't believe how strong Queen Mab was. After their failure in the War of Spring, the Northern Fairies coexisted with humans in Ireland for 4,000 years. The Southern Fairies only saw humans as tools for producing entertainment. The Northern Fairies, though, they saw humans as partners, and together, they built a real civilization. So even though the Southern Fairies had the numbers advantage, the Northern Fairies were still overwhelmingly stronger. At first, Queen Mab wanted to wipe out the Southern Fairies as payback for what they did to the Northern Fairies, to the Northern ones. But eventually, Ace managed to broker a peace between the two sides. As part of the deal, the Northern Fairies were ceded the north part of Britain as a territory, and welcomed into the fold as the King Clan. That's when the 6 clans we have now first came about. The rest you guys already know. Anyway, with that kind of bad blood between them, it's no wonder the fairies of the north and south still don't get along, even in the era of the High Queen, right? Alright, I totally remember my fairy history. Honestly, I'm having a little trouble keeping all this straight. Alright, I totally remember my fairy history. That is me with history lessons in general. Yeah, totally, huh? Basically, all you have to remember is that there was a big battle between the clans in the last years of the Fae Era, right before the era of the High Queen began. What about the start of the Fae Era, 14,000 years ago? Do you know anything about that? Nope, there's not a single record of Britain's genesis. Ace and the first Tamlin tried their hardest to track one down, but all they learned was the story of the 6 fairies. The 6 fairies, as in... the beautiful image. So you already know about it. Yup, it was that mural. I don't remember all that much about it either, but if you want, I'll tell you what I know as a bedtime story. Not that there's all that much to it. At best, it only makes for a decent lullaby. Sounds good, Happy Cat. And I can do this one. This should probably be the last one. Based on how long these little parts are. And to be safe. If by chance it's like short, then maybe, just maybe, but I'ma just assume it's gonna be, oh, there's a ghost. That's a big ghost. Oh, this is gonna be tough. Okay. Alrighty. I'm gonna start strong. Whee! That's a big ghost. And ghosties can usually steal my gauge, and I don't like that. Please, no, ghostie. Not this time. Or joke's on you, there's no gauge to steal. For my boy, anyways. Ouch. Never mind, you're not stealing my gauge, you're helping me raise it. Thank you. Thank you for that. How kind. Yay, that worked out. Steer. Oh no, it's another ghost. Well, no fear. What is fear? Fear doesn't exist here. Fear, I don't know her. Let's just do this for now. Whee! This be fine. Stare. I expect the third fight to be another ghosty. Tabby Cat, what kind of bedtime story are you telling me? You said you'd tell me stuff as a bedtime story. Is this a bedtime story? I feel like using this. Yeah, using that's good. Might as well. Why not? More damage, please. Then by the next turn, I could probably defeat the ghost. Yeah, that seems doable. Ouch. Ouch. Ghosty, can you just not do that? Okay, thanks. Yeah, this is fine. Whee! Yay, damage! Oh, I should have ended with Nobu to raise her gauge too. Oh well, no regrets. Oh, that's fine. Yeah, this be fine. Go get him. Whee! And now for big damage. After the nice buff. Go get him. There. Okay, yeah, it's going down for sure. I believe in you, Nobu. Finish it! I'm just glad these ghosties did not steal my gauge. Thank you, ghosties. The one thing I'll be thankful of. Yay! And more delicious bonds. The more the merrier, please. Story time. This spot looks perfect. Okay, guys, that's enough walking for today. Let's go ahead and set up camp. I'll go fetch the water. I'll pitch the tent. I want to fetch some water. That sounds fun.
I'll go gather brushwood. I mean firewood.
I'll go ready to report for the border. Yes, you do that, Da Vinci. Thank you. I don't want to do that. I'll go lazy around for a while, since I'm just plain tired. Then I'll put up the bounded field to ward off animals and insects. Gosh, camping is so much fun no matter where you do it. Roger that. All hands, move out. Whee! Oh. Oh. I guess that's gonna join us too, okay. All hands, move out. Phew. I couldn't eat another bite. All that's left to do now is rest up for tomorrow. Yep, I think now's a good time to call it a night. There don't seem to be any dangerous creatures here, so... Hold it! I still haven't told you guys about the 6 fairies like I promised. Oh right, I'm sorry, Happy Cat. Please, go right ahead. Don't worry, I'm listening. It sounds pretty important after all. Okay, now which diary was it? Aha, here it is. Happy Cat's history page. 153. I love the smug expression for the storytelling. Or at least a determined expression. It became ocean at the end. There was ocean at the beginning. After the shooting star passed, the land all ran into rivers. Ooh, image! I like this. Oh, they're so cute just sitting there. Long, long ago, as far back as time can go, 6 fairies went outside to find the world had become an ocean. There was no land, no rocks, no fish, no birds. And of course, there was no mountains or forests, which the 6 fairies loved more than anything. The 6 fairies didn't know what to do. They grew sad and thought of going home. This is awful, they thought.
How terrible our world has become.
Then a large shadow rose up from the ocean. It belonged to a giant fluffy creature. On its shoulder stood one of the animals the fairies believed was gone. The animal on its shoulder called the fluffy creature Cernunnos. Cernunnos, the animal, and the 6 fairies soon became friends. It wasn't easy living on the ocean where there was nowhere to go and nothing to do. But Cernunnos made things better for the 6 fairies by sheltering them from the waves. However, the animal said that Cernunnos was a god and that he needed offerings. So the 6 fairies offered Cernunnos their joy. And they offered Cernunnos their wish. The ocean without waves is nice, but we still miss having land. And so the fairies' wish was granted. Then after their rejoicing ended, the god grew tired and fell asleep. The 6 fairies revered Cernunnos for granting their wish. They made grateful use of everything that was left behind. Thus did the Isle of Britain come into being. May the first 6 fairies find salvation. Oh, that's nice of them. The end. So, was it helpful or Tori? Wow. You're amazing, Happy Cat. I can't believe how much you know. Is she talking in her sleep? Pretending to be awake? What about the rest of you? Muramasa, Da Vinci, Misaki? I am fine. I'm just attending dream school. I'm fine. I'm still awake. I like nighttime. I'm a child of darkness. I knew it. You've got to be patient if you're gonna make a good spouse one day. But seriously, that was really helpful. It seems pretty clear now that the giant beast from the mural, Cernunnos, really did exist, along with the 6 clan ancestors. Also, what do you think that animal riding on Cernunnos' shoulder was? They would have said if it was a fairy, so maybe a human? I can only think it was a human, maybe a human. I think so too. Gods do like having mouthpieces. My guess is this human was Cernunnos' priest. They were probably there to share their god's word with the world.
I see. So that means when Britain was first created, there was a god, a priest, and fairies, huh? But now there's no god, no priest, and only humans that exist were made by fairies. There's gotta be something more to the story. Maybe that's what Morgan's hiding?
Seeing how any stories related to gods completely died out in the era of the High Queen, you're probably right. But that leaves us with yet another question. If the story is true, it means Cernunnos gave the southern fairies, the 6 clans' ancestors, this land. But then, who gave the northern fairies the land with the woods on it in the Lake District. Oh, I know that one. This is a secret only the Mirror Clan and those born before the era of the High Queen began knew, but a certain being's corpse lay somewhere in the Lake District. Even if the world had become totally blank or an empty sea with no life, it remained all by itself without decomposing until it eventually transformed into a small forest. I'll be on the border. The last dragon. Ah, no wonder why Koyan Chihuahua's snake was there. She'd be looking for them remains after all. And I've been wanting to see it, so we're on the right track. The corpse it left behind when it failed to return to the paradise of Avalon became the Northern Fairy's homeland. Okay, good to know. And just not to push it, I think that's a good way to end. Like, that was a shorter part than I thought it would be, but yeah, I'd rather be safe than sorry, since I doubt the next part's gonna only be like 20 minutes. Yeah, I feel like that's how it's gonna be. So that's good. That way I can make sure to get to the theater in time and get my snacks. I hope the Trolls movie will be fun, and that the theater will mainly be empty because it's late at night, so there shouldn't be too many children out. Heh heh heh. So thank you for stopping by the stream. I hope everyone has a great rest of your day and epic gacha luck. I shall start getting ready, aka eating a snickerdoodle cookie. Yes, that is my way to get ready, to hype myself. Sugar is good, sugar is my friend. So I'll see you guys later. Bye bye! Boop.